All right. Welcome into this of the Bucks on Tap podcast. Corey Moen, Evan Bernd. Evan, how are we doing?
Honestly, can't complain. Had the last few days off after a busy start to the Brewer season, but we're here. Little win streak going right now. Can't complain. But the Bucks, for the other hand, though,
The Bucks on
they're
the
not
other
on a
hand.
win streak.
No, not on a win streak. Really not really too many positives to be taken away from this season. Other than what we've kind of discussed is, in all likelihood, Evan, this is going to be the last time that Giannis is going to be on the court for Milwaukee. He's probably not coming back next season. And really, I'm just basing that off the fact that yesterday, Shams Charania, bit of a bomb, tweeted out, the NBA is investigating the Milwaukee Bucks for the handling of the player participation policy and potential inconsistent statements regarding the health of Giannis Antetokounmpo, sources tell ESPN. The league has interviewed Antetokounmpo's side, the Bucks, and team doctors. Now, of course, I was like, what exactly was said here? Giannis kind of dropped a little bit of what I would like to call a small bomb, where he kind of said the following. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna, sorry, it's on my phone. Let me pause for something. No, Giannis said, "You know who you were dealing with." Antetokounmpo said in an interview with local reporters 1 hour before Friday's game against the Boston Celtics. So for someone to come and tell me not to play or not to compete, it's like a slap in my face. So I don't know where the relationship goes from here. I'm available to play today. Right now, I'm available. Do I look like I'm not available? So that 1 hour before the game against the Boston Celtics. And honestly, we could have seen that was the direction that it was going to be headed. And the only reason why I say that is because after he suffered his last injury, because he's dealt with shoulder strains twice, the Bucks are perfectly fine letting him come back.
Mm-hmm.
The third injury, I think by that point, the Bucks are already out of the playoffs. So the third injury, they were like, oh, well, I mean, if you're healthy, maybe, but they were never fully intent on letting Giannis play again this season. Okay, mm-hmm. After the recent injury against the Pacers, the Bucks basically said, dude, there's no reason for you to play. Okay, and I got to be honest, this is one of those things where it's honestly split down the middle between fan reaction, where everybody's trying to tell Giannis, dude, like, sit out. Like, we don't want you. Like, why would you want to, like, tear an ACL or, like, tear an Achilles or stuff like that? I've said it before. I've said it again. If you know Giannis's makeup, he wants to play.
Yeah, that's not happening.
He's not one of those guys. He's not like Joel Embiid, where he's in, out with the consultation of his team doctors. He wants to play. When he's fully healthy, he wants to play. Okay, he doesn't want to sit. And what do you think the reaction was going to be from Giannis' side if the team is just forcing him to sit even when he's fully healthy? He's not considering, like, oh, well, you know, like, you're just sitting me out to, like, because, like, since I'm not going to be there. He's not considering it that way, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks owe it to Giannis if he's fully healthy. And by the way, I just looked at the recent injury report. He's not playing in this game either. He's still out. So the Bucks owe it to Giannis. Mm-hmm. If you get one last game at Fiserv, one last game, you have to give him that. If he's saying he's fully healthy and you just put him on ice the rest of the season, he will legitimately never forgive this franchise for the next probably 5 to 10 years. He'll get over it eventually. But in that moment, he cannot wait to get out of Milwaukee. Okay. And the Bucks are making it a lot harder on him because you're basically driving him out. You're driving him out. Giannis has said, and I get it. Giannis hasn't been very clear what his message is on what he wants to do. I understand that. But you're making the decision for him a lot easier by just sitting him when he's like fully healthy to play. And I don't agree with it at all. They're not handling it the right way. And, something has to be done about this. Evan, what was your reaction when you first read the news?
I think it pretty much solidified that they're probably going to trade him. We also don't know the extent of what his injury status is. Again, him saying one thing can be completely different. He could not be ready, but he's just saying he is ready to play. So again, we don't know the full extent to it, but again, it's one of those he said, she said, where it's one saying this, the other is saying you're not ready. And I think it just kind of goes down to who is actually correct. But having this report come out, I think pretty much just shows the lack of, I wouldn't say respect, but just like the lack of like just kind of wanting to make his relationship there remain healthy. Again, the last thing you want is to trade him on like a bad ending for what he's done for the Bucks the last over 13, 14 years. If you trade him and you are on like a great call where it's like, you know what, like I understand, like we're going to end up trading you, but it's not like if you're doing it based off of how I feel like their relationship is right now, it just again looks bad. And you like, this is the kind of guy you want to come back all the time, like, post retirement and be able to still be welcomed, which he will be. He has nothing against the fans. It's more of the standpoint of the organization itself. For that standpoint, obviously every single person in Wisconsin who cheers for the Bucks will always welcome Giannis back. But again, it's up to the organization. I just feel like they've handled this so poorly the last few years, especially with, I think, just the entire structure for the team itself as well, not just the whole Giannis situation. But again, seeing this, it just kind of shows that they're either going to play him against the Nets for that final Fiserv game, or they're just going to sit him out and maybe one, assume they'll keep him, or two, just they aren't risking anything health-wise to devalue any trade in the offseason. Because again, one injury the last few games of the season, he tears an ACL or again does something where he's out the full year, you're not trading him, or you are going to trade him, but you're going to get way less for what you could essentially get from him when he's healthy or in like the state of where he is now. But it's so iffy, but it sucks because again, everything that comes out, I feel like just really states trading him, but again, which sucks because obviously you don't want to, but it's just the whole situation worse just with how fans are.
Sorry, it's like we're having some internet connectivity issues.
There you go.
But it's such a seismic shift from what's occurred. From, once Giannis really started to enter that superstar status, okay, Milwaukee did everything possible to help him, to get him another championship. And looking back at it, Evan, people might hate that I say this. Sometimes it's okay to just be good in the regular season and, maybe go out in the postseason. Sometimes that's okay because I think Bucks fans, when they look at it, the trade for the Drew Holiday trade for Damian Lillard, I think you do that deal 100 times out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind that. I mean, I get it from the standpoint of Bucks lost a lot of defense by making that trade, but it's like it's David freaking Lillard. It's like you're making that trade. The problem is they just didn't do a good enough job of building around him. Okay, and the team was still decent enough, but they didn't like Adrian Griffin. So they're like, all right, well, why don't we get a coach who's used to this? Doc Rivers. And, it just felt – and like Doc Rivers, it just kind of feels like, he's not going to be the coach next year. All right? There's no way he can be the coach next year. After looking at the performances that this team has had, we're not going to be competing for championships for the next 5 years. Doc Rivers is a guy who's coached a team to a championship. They need to get a younger coach, which I think that is what they're going to do. All right, they have to get somebody from one of these winning organizations. All right, and then that doesn't always work. But again, you got to get a younger coach you can build with for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Right, and I think that's what the Bucks are going to do. They're going to trade Giannis. Now, again, depending on – because I don't know if when the Pacers and the Jazz got fined, I think they just got a major fine. I don't know. I don't know if they lost a draft pick. Mm-hmm. I don't think they did. I think it was about a $250,000 fine. I'm gonna have to do a little more research on that. But the Bucks have basically said, Giannis hasn't checked all the parameters to come back and play. Okay, I believe it was a 3-on-3 scrimmage that Giannis declined playing in, and I believe that's one of the parameters that Milwaukee has set out for Giannis to come back and play. And again, it's a huge he said, she said thing right now. I don't like it. I don't like it for both sides. It's getting kind of ugly. And, I think that these two, whether it's Giannis and ownership, I think Giannis has talked to John Horst and Doc, and, they had one conversation about it, and I don't think he's heard anything from them since. Can't do that. Okay, the ownership, John Horst, Doc Rivers, they all have to get in a room. They have to hash this out. Okay, because that line where he said, "I don't know where the relationship goes from here," he's basically saying that the relationship's fractured right now, and we need to do something to figure this out. They have to. Okay, you cannot end it like this. You cannot end it with Giannis and the organization being on bad terms. You cannot do it. Okay. He has been your franchise leader for the better part of almost 10 years. You cannot end it on ugly terms, and you make a trade that you both regret just to get him out of there. All right? This cannot be like Kawhi and the Spurs. Can't do it. Mm-hmm. Can't do it. Get in a room, hash it out. It's probably not going to stay. And I get the fans. I get the fans, even hardcore fans, are frustrated with Giannis. Okay? Because I'm loyal to this franchise, but also this team needs to compete in order for me to stay here, or if I'm here, which he kept dropping that line throughout the season. So Giannis had some missteps too. The organization's had some missteps. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just don't think this has been handled the right way, and I just hope that they can figure it out soon. Maybe after the season, just meet up. What do you want to do? Giannis, what do you want to do? Do you want to leave? Do you want to stay? And, Wes Edens basically laid out what's going to happen. Either he signs an extension or we're trading him. We're not. Yeah. He's not going to go in the final year of his contract. With that, so again, what's going to happen is already been laid out. Okay, but look, right now the fans aren't going to the games. Okay, nobody's going to the games to see. Rollins has been out the past 2 or 3 games. So, what do they say? Nobody's going there to see. And no disrespect to him. I actually think he's going to be one of our building blocks. I don't think he can be our best player. Usman Jang, I think he's going to be one of our I think he's going to be good. Cormac Ryan.
He's been killing it.
Love Cormac Ryan's game. Everybody else, can leave as far as I'm concerned. Because those two are – AJ Green's going to be fine. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well this year, but I think he's going to be fine. But, again, it's a little concerning the fact that Giannis saying he's fully healthy and Milwaukee's still running out there with 8 players. I don't know if I like that. And again, so I just hope that whole relationship gets figured out, because this is just not good. Nothing about this is good.
Yep. Actually pulled up Usman Dieng's stats because I don't know if they're going to trade Giannis. I'm trying to build around this guy. To be frank, him and one or two other guys, like I feel like, I mean, he had 36 against the Rockets the other night. Like he was fully capable of running this team. 30. What was it? I had 36 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Like he is easily a guy who's going to average 20, 25 points. I feel like if he is like that main scorer on the team, if Giannis is gone.
But people are forgetting about Cormac Ryan. Cormac Ryan, I think he dropped 24.
He had a great game.
He can hoop.
Did you see that Kevin Durant shoot him off?
And then he waved him off. The game drove right past him. I was like, this guy. No, and then I was watching the game against the Celtics the other night. Granted, not too many fun moments there.
Yep.
But he blocked Jaylen Brown. I was like, oh, damn. All right. This guy can ball.
He's an older guy. Obviously, I think he's around our age, 27 or 28. But
yeah,
he's got it. Again, there's a lot of those. Yeah, he had 25, 9 of 14. He can hit 3. Yep. I mean, the Rockets weren't sitting all their guys. They were still up against their top talent. So he's hitting threes against Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith, and Sengun. I don't know. You got guys there that you can build around or kind of develop Cormac into another AJ Green or using like you did for Grayson Allen and stuff like that. I mean, they got the guys there. They just got to figure out everything else to it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's a little disappointing right now what's going on with the Bucks because look, we got the two Antetokounmpo brothers. I just want to give a quick shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Alex got his first NBA point by a free throw against the Dallas Mavericks. And because I was reading Giannis's book about, the Antetokounmpo's upbringing and stuff like that. He said outside of Giannis, Alex is probably one of the more natural, like, basketball players in that family. Like, he was probably going to be the second best player to come out of that family. And I get it that Giannis has played a lot longer than he has, but I think if he sticks with it, he's going to be really good. Thanasis, I don't know. His game's a little awkward and I mean, it's a little weird. I mean, he had a play last night where he got a steal, and he tried to get the ball to Alex, and he just like threw it out of bounds. And we were all just cracking up at work because I was like, that is the most Thanasis play of all time. It's either he's gonna do a great play, or he's just gonna mix that up with a mind-dumbingly stupid play. That's like, oh, this guy's only here because his brother's in the NBA. And I think that's the other thing too is if they get rid of Giannis, I mean, dude, they're not keeping like the rest of the Antetokounmpo brothers. Like, they're not going to be there next year.
They could probably keep Alex, but
I would keep Alex. I think you can develop him, but like Thanasis is who he is, dude. Like, you're not like Thanasis. Don't get me wrong. Like, he can. I mean, I don't want to say he doesn't have game because I also don't want to be disrespectful to be like, he's only in there because of his brother, because it's like it's not easy to make it to the NBA either. So he has some talent. Maybe not as like a rotational starter or like a rotational guy off the bench, but maybe like, the role he has now, it's kind of going to be his role. I mean, I give Adrian Griffin credit because that man trusted the hell out of Thanasis, giving him like first quarter minutes and stuff like that. I was like, geez, this guy. He put a lot of trust into Thanasis. I was like, yeah, all right. Well, we should not be giving Thanasis first quarter minutes, but I mean, look, I'm happy that the only team that the Bucks can like destroy in a basketball game and a regulation basketball game are teams that are complete and utter disasters, like the Dallas Mavericks. I'm happy the fact that the Bucks can kill teams that are like equally worse than they are. That's the only thing. Is like they can't beat many teams because they've lost by 45 to the Nets at one point. But God forbid, you know what, if they play against the Pelicans or maybe the Hornets, throw in the Mavs. God forbid, Evan, they could beat those teams. I'm trying to remember another team they've had a lot of success against.
Not the Wizards.
No, not the Wizards. They lost 3 times against the Wizards. But I don't want to be too disrespectful because at the end of the day, the Basketball Hall of Fame inductees were announced. Doc Rivers is one of them.
Yep.
I know what people are going to say, but let's keep this in mind too. It has to do with your entire basketball career. Okay, and as much as people don't like it, Doc Rivers for various teams has been a successful coach. Not for Milwaukee. He's like 3 or 4 games under 500. He's like won less than 100 games, and it's been one of the worst 10 years I can remember as being a Bucks fan. But apparently we're placing a large value in lack of Western/Eastern Conference Finals appearances and just a lot of regular season wins. Okay, despite the fact that coaches still get fired, for winning 55-plus games in a regular season, but God forbid you get knocked out the first or second round, you still get fired. But it doesn't matter, Evan. It doesn't matter because he has the 5th most wins in NBA history. Now, most people are going to say, well, he's had like 10 or 15 Hall of Famers that he's coached. And to that, I say, I completely agree with you. I don't know if Doc Rivers has really had to do a whole hell of a lot of coaching to really give him the credentials of being like an all-time great coach. As me personally, but again, it's so weird because like the NBA GMs don't like the regular season wins. Yet if you win enough in the regular season, you win 50-plus games each year, one day you could still get to the Hall of Fame. Because when I look at it, if Doc Rivers is getting in, Evan, Mike Budenholzer should be getting in then. Because, I mean, let's be honest here. Let's look at it. They kind of have the same resume.
I have Doc Rivers up. Let me pull up Mike Budenholzer's.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, okay. Actually, here's why I think Mike should get in. The reason why Mike Budenholzer should get in, look at the 2015 Hawks team with Paul Millsap, Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Al Horford. Like that team was the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They got swept by Cleveland, but still, it's like, dude, that team and Damari Carroll. That team won 50-plus games.
Yep, Damari Carroll. Yep.
So Mike Budenholzer, actually what he did was a lot harder than what Doc had to do because that Hawks team was good, but they weren't like a bunch of world beaters where like they didn't have like there's no Hall of Famers in that list. Like, but then all of a sudden Doc Rivers is like, oh my gosh. Like, dude, Doc Rivers coached like 3 Hall of Famers. Like, and add like CP3 and maybe DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin maybe one day. Jamal Crawford. Like, Lou Williams. So.
Yep, all those guys.
So, like, let's just say this. Doc Rivers had a lot of good teams that he's coached. So I don't want to give him, like, all the credit in the world. But, I mean, I don't want to besmirch him either because, like, he's been a player. He had a long career. He's been a coach. And, he's obviously been a broadcaster kind of in between there. And again, do I think he's going to retire after this year? I do. I don't think he's going to find another head coaching job again. I don't know why you would hire him. For what? He's like coached long enough. It's like he's an old school coach that doesn't work in today's climate. All right. For some reason, ownership was enamored with him. It was like, and which kind of shows me that I don't even know how much NBA ownership actually watches because like the rest of the fan base was like, no, don't hire Doc Rivers. Like, just because the guy went to Marquette, that doesn't mean anything. And look what happened. We were legitimately
pretty obvious not to do it.
We were telling them, don't hire Doc Rivers. This is not going to turn out the way you think it is. But, you know what? Hey, according to him, it's not his fault because they've had injuries. Despite the fact that there were 5 or 6 teams that were missing their star players this year. God forbid, the Bucks were the only one who had injuries. You know what? According to Doc Rivers, if every single player if their injury mode was set to off, we would have won 50-plus games. That's according to Doc Rivers. Oh, and don't forget the fact that people don't realize is he actually threw his GM under the bus, John Horst, because he was like, well, I only had like 1 star. Most teams have 2 stars. That's basically you saying that it's basically him telling John Horst, your roster construction sucks, and I literally did everything I possibly could. That's how I read into that. It was like, you don't know how to build a roster. I did everything I possibly could. Okay, but you know what? You didn't give me another star. So, you can take the blame for this too, my guy. I mean, I was looking. But again, this is who Doc Rivers is, man. It's always an excuse with him. So
I was comparing their 2 careers. Honestly, Budenholzer's, 1-time NBA champ, 2-time Coach of the Year, 2-time NBCA Coach of the Year, and then 2-time All-Star head coach, and 4 championships as the assistant coach. I mean, Doc Rivers, 1-time champ, a cup champ. Obviously, that's not really comparable, but a 1-time Coach of the Year and 4-time All-Star and top 15 coach in history. I don't know. Pretty similar.
And then
I was looking at his head coaching record. Yeah. His head coaching playoff career. Good Lord. You can say it, but when you see it on the screen, it just looks so much worse.
What is it?
Starting in 1990, missed playoffs, then lost in first round, lost in first round, lost in first round. Lost in first round, missed playoffs, won the championship, lost in conference finals, lost in NBA finals, lost in conference, lost in first round, lost in conference, lost in first, missed, first, conference, semifinals, lost first round, lost in first round. Woo-hoo.
So wait.
It is.
So he never made – let me see if I get this correct. So he hadn't made a conference finals since he was in Boston. Do I have that right? Because I don't think he ever made it in Philly, because that was the whole thing with Embiid is he never made a conference finals.
Correct, yes. He lost in the last time he's been in the conference finals was in 2011, 2012 with Boston.
Oh, my.
Semifinals. Last time he was in this – he never made it to the conference finals with the Clippers. He lost in the semifinals or the first round or missed that entire time he was there. But yeah, it is.
Oh, someone has a comment.
Woof.
Hall of Fame level choke artist. Yep, he's right. He's right. This guy's right. This guy has the right attitude for him. Thank you. He is. He truly is. Like that read-off was insane. He hadn't made a conference final since I was in middle school. Wait a minute. Time out. The 2011 to 2012 season. I think that was the one where LeBron – is that the one they're talking about where, like, LeBron – yeah, that is the one where LeBron went off against them in, like, Game 6. 45 points. They were up 3-2 in the series. No, and then here's what makes it better. What makes this so much worse is there's another stat up there. I think Doc Rivers has blown the most 3-1 leads as a coach in NBA history.
Yep.
There hasn't been another coach like him. But hey, but you know what, Evan? That's not his fault. Okay, he was up 3-1 against the Nuggets in the conference semis.
3-3-1 leads. Yep.
But you know what, Evan? That was
2003 with the Magic.
Nope. 3-1, 3-2. He hasn't been able to hold on to them.
2020. Yep. Oof.
But you know what? According to him, and the bubble wasn't his fault because they had to play in the bubble. That's what he said. He was like, he said wow, anything could have happened in the bubble. Well, yeah, you could have won, but one. Consider the fact you guys are literally playing under the same environment. Like, just makes me so mad. It angers me to no end, but you know what? At the end of the day, we got what's the last day of the regular season? Like next week?
Yeah, I just had it. The last Bucks game we have is April 12th.
Yeah, so that's next week. All right, perfect. Season's ending next week. Can't wait. It's been a season from hell. It's legitimately been a season from hell, but you know what? I'm excited that it's almost over. Ducks play. But all right, you know what? I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to the next topic because I was legitimately not happy. But before
a little
I do
Doc
that,
rant is needed.
Candidates too. So all of Doc Rivers, it's Amari Stoudemire, Candace Parker, and Elena Deladon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I mean that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good list. It's a good list. Let's see here. Bobby Portis was on Michelle Beadle's FanDuel show, and Bobby Portis was kind of talking about the vibes in Milwaukee. He was like, "It's weird. We got eliminated for the postseason. We got eliminated for postseason contention. 5 straight years I've been here. We've been to the playoffs. Well, when you have to deal with as many distractions as you guys have had to deal with throughout the year, that's going to happen. Okay, if the Bucks were good, if they were going to the playoffs again, this chatter about Giannis leaving Milwaukee would have dissipated. But you know what? The worst this team got.
Correct.
That's what people are going to focus on. And of course, it's been weird because this is what and look, a lot of people are going to be mad about Shams or Brian Windhorst or whatever. And there's been times I've been mad at them, but. Again, when you're winning only 30 games and you're losing 45, 46, 47, of course they're going to focus on that because it's a huge and now with the relationship is where it is now. Yeah, now there's a ginormous power wedge that's driven in between these two. Okay, between the organization and Giannis, a humongous power wedge, and the media's going to do their jobs, man. They're going to dig into it a little bit, and I don't fault them for that.
Mm-hmm.
I would be doing the same thing. Giannis is going to have, he's going to have his pick. Let me tell you, he's going to be getting some offers this summer, and this could be one of those things they want to rip off the Band-Aid like the Pelicans did with Anthony Davis, get it right done in June, or they might be we're going to wait basically until the entire summer, maybe get this done early to mid-August.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Who knows? What I do know is he's not going to be a Buck. I could guarantee you that. We could stamp it. I don't see how he's going to come back to Milwaukee. And it sucks because you just think about all the memories that you make with him, and unfortunately, it just doesn't look like it's going to work out in the end. But I'm getting back to the topic at hand. I mean, do you think that the vibes have kind of been a little weird in Milwaukee? More so this season than in the past, say, 5 or 6 seasons?
Oh, 100%. Obviously, in 2020, the year that they won the championship, 2020, 2021, I remember January of 2020, he signed that extension again after those talks. And then again, I felt year in and year out before the season started, it was always things are hovering in Milwaukee about Giannis, and it's all right, we got that quite often. But no, the vibes are definitely different. It's just, again, you can't just blame it on injuries. It does suck. It plays a factor, but injuries have always been a part of the game. I think a lot of it, you have coaching style. You have players who are playing and players who aren't playing who maybe should be. There's a lot of factors that go into it. And a lot of it just kind of comes down to do they really want it? And a lot of these games, it's just they've been showing lack of so many things that have continuously added up to their plentiful of losses, lack of rebounding, just kind of chucking up shots, not being able to kind of close out a game for games that they are winning by 15 plus. And all of a sudden they're up by 3 points with 2 minutes left. And there's so many things that go into it. And I just feel with how a lot of the losses that they've been blown out in and a lot of the wins that they do have that they had larger leads in than gave up, I just feel like vibes are going to be different solely off of how shitty they've been playing this season. And again, yeah, like Bobby said, like they missed the playoffs, obviously since he's been here, but they missed the playoffs for the first time in 8 years now. And obviously, like growing up watching the Bucks, it was like they never made the playoffs, and whenever they did, they got first rounded so fast. But it was cool because they're in the playoffs. But now that like people have resurfaced because they're good again, and they're gonna disappear again once Giannis is gone. But yeah, vibes are high just because like things have shifted so much. Honestly, in the past 3 seasons since they've been eliminated in the first round, the last 3 years, that things shift so fast. And I can't disagree with it. Vibes are definitely different here, and not being able to watch a lot of the games, but like with work and I look at my phone and they're down by 28 and it's like the second quarter or third quarter, it's like, all right, well, just another one of these rinse repeat games. But yep, vibes are low because they're playing as if the vibes are low. And when you see all the media perspectives with that and how fans are reacting, like they're going to play based off of how the fans are. And if the fans are disappointed, why would they? Or you would think, oh, like, guys, we kind of suck right now. Like, what can we do to turn around? It doesn't seem like anything has happened at all this season. There were hints of it, but there's nothing that really showed out to me of like, that is the turning point of this season. And then, then they just suck again 3 games later after they win 2 games in a row. And it's like, oh, okay, like get a little streak going and then boom, lose 4 in a row or something stupid like that. No, vibes are low because they're putting the vibes low, or they're continuously not doing anything to make that change.
Well, and it kind of feels like the Bucks as an organization right now, it feels like when they're starting to play these games, it kind of feels like they're running a race that they've only trained for like 3 weeks for, where they're stopping and starting, right? Like the Houston game, you could see that they were probably going to lose, but they were giving a lot of effort. The Boston game, it was immediate that I was like, all right, well, we're not beating Boston. So it's kind of their attitude of like, it feels like the mentality, like once in a blue moon changes to where for the most of the season, now they just getting blown out and just haven't really given a lot of effort. But there are a couple games like spruced in there where they, beat Phoenix on the road, or, they give Houston a good game. So they have the talent to do it. It's just that they don't do it that often, right? Like, Jericho Sims had like 20 rebounds and like 6 points. So not to say they can't do it. It's just, they just don't. They just don't put in the requisite effort game to game. And that is maddening to watch as a fan, because I think there are still Bucks fans. There's fans who just don't watch anymore, which is, that's fair. I maybe used to get to a point where I wouldn't watch them anymore, but then now at this point in the season, Evan, we're like looking at see who the building blocks are. It's like, all right, well, who should we keep for next season? Okay, who can we build around? Who has talent? Jang, I would keep him, obviously. Rollins, obviously, yes. But then you got to weed out the guys who aren't about like playing like team basketball. So Kuz, give him another spot. Porter Jr., I'd give him another spot again. Another spot for sure. I don't think you can win with him as a lead guard. If he's talking about like 82 points, I want to beat Bam's record. Don't want that attitude in the locker room. Get him out. AJ Green, yeah, I would. Miles Turner, Miles Turner,
you're gonna have to.
I would think about it. I would seriously think about it. If you can get off that contract, I would think about it. Because if that's I don't know if that's a guy you wanted as a building block or something. But if Giannis isn't there, then Miles Turner is really not going to be much help. Because he's not.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to have to give it one more season with him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is, just because you can block shots, it doesn't make you a good defender. I don't consider Miles Turner to be a good defender. He can block shots, but he doesn't have the same impact that Brook Lopez had.
Brook Lopez.
It's painfully obvious he does. So, but, the other guys, Gary Trent, I'd be fine letting him go. I don't know if that's really going to provide much of a difference. Oh my God, we lost Gary
Mhm.
Trent. Well, I mean, he wasn't really in the rotation for like 2 or 3 months. Then they had to stick him back in when Cam Thomas stunk it up. Really trying to think who else. Cormac, I would keep. Cormac, I think I've liked what I've seen from Cormac Ryan. I think that's a guy you should try to keep. The Antetokounmpo brothers, obviously, probably get rid of. Pete Nance, I would keep Pete Nance for sure. I think there's a lot of fans.
I like Pete Nance.
There's a lot of fans who like Pete Nance, and I was saying, like, even when the preseason occurred, that I would give Pete Nance more minutes because I think he could play. And they kind of
Played
recognize
40
that
minutes
later
the other
on
day
in the
against the
year.
Rockets.
Huh?
Played 40 minutes against the Rockets. Like he's capable.
Pete Nance should be getting more opportunities. Okay, I like Pete Nance. I'm really trying to see who else. Bobby, you can probably get rid of because it's like you're not.
Honestly, the last one I'd keep is Jericho Sims. Yeah,
like we got to break
correct.
up some of the championship.
I'm keeping
chords.
Jericho. People might.
Oh, I'd absolutely keep Jericho.
Correct.
I mean, the guy can rebound.
He's not here to score, but he's here to rebound, and God, he can do that.
And God, he can, and God, he's good for a few alley-oops a game. Love Jericho Sims.
Yeah, literally, all you need. There's nothing else that you really need from him besides, a couple in the paint and, I don't know, 10, 15 rebounds. I feel like he's going to get you.
Was there anybody I
He can get you at least 10 rebounds.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody I missed.
Andre Jackson is the only other big one.
I do want him to get more opportunities. I'm not saying that. I think he should, but I could also kind of see why he doesn't. By the same
Correct.
token.
I lean keeping him, just like give him that repetition of playing again every day.
Like actually, give him
especially
opportunities.
with correct, yes. I lean keep him, but I wouldn't be upset if he ended up leaving this summer after next year too.
No. Yeah, so I mean that's really about it. I would keep like a lot of the young guys. I basically, if you didn't watch it all through, keep all the young guys, get rid of all the old players is essentially what I was kind of going with.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Last topic of the day. This is very unsurprising. According to Brett Siegel from Clutch Points, some players have lost confidence in Doc Rivers' coaching style. And to that I say, well, yeah, I mean, even the fans could have seen that, for God's sakes. Like,
what?
I'm sorry, when you're getting blown
me.
out. Yeah, it's news to me. That's what I'm saying. It's news to me. I just thought when they were getting blown out by 35, I thought the conference was still there. When that's happened 8 or 9 times. Jeez Louise. I mean, what? You're saying that getting blown out by 35 plus points isn't good for an organization? You're saying getting blown out by bottom feeders in the NBA, you're saying that's not good? Jeez, I would have thought it would have been, the players and not Doc Rivers. Jesus, I feel foolish. Of course they want confidence in his coaching style. Dude, they've lost confidence in his coaching style since like January when they lost by 45 to the Brooklyn Nets. I legitimately, like, you don't think I could see that the players are checked out right now? Look at the shots. I'll tell you what, for all the fans out there, go back and look at all the shots Cam Thomas took as a member of the Milwaukee Bucks and say that the Milwaukee Bucks were not checked out. Say that. Because I was looking at some of the shots. Let me tell you something. That is not a cohesive offense. Because I didn't even know what the coaching style is supposed to be. Hey, guys, we have to rebound. Well, we got to stop allowing so many threes. Legitimately, that game against the Boston Celtics last night, I've never seen so many wide open threes. I'm like, are you guys out of your mind? Like, because I don't know, Evan. I had no idea what the strategy was supposed to be last night. Why in the hell would you play zone against the Boston Celtics? That was legitimately the dumbest defensive strategy I think I've ever seen in my entire life. One of the top teams, you don't think one of the top teams in the East that has Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, you don't think they could like just figure out a zone? And then they were giving like Derek White wide open threes. I was like, what? You guys are just a bunch of morons. I swear to you. I don't know who the defensive coordinator is for this team, but you're an idiot if you think the Boston Celtics weren't going to they figured that zone out in like 2 seconds. And by the way, Jason Tatum's still good. Insane the fact he came back this season with, coming off a torn Achilles, which, most players he's missing like a year. But because Jason Tatum got the surgery right away, because, most players like Halliburton and who was the other guy? There was another guy who tore his Achilles. Lillard. They waited to get their
Lillard.
Yeah, they waited. So, like, they had to wait the entire year. But I think Jason Tatum, if I'm not mistaken, got the surgery done the same night. So he was able to, like, come back a lot sooner. So I mean, it's insane. But, yeah, Jason Tatum is still good. Jaylen Brown still good. And again, they always find these diamond in the rough guys. Namdas Akita, forgot what his name is, but the center.
I think so.
Kita, yeah. He's good. Okay? Sam Hauser, good. Like, they just figure it out. The Celtics just get these diamond in the rough guys. Luka Garza, throw him in there. And, they're just, and again, unsurprisingly, they got blown out again last night. And I feel bad for the fans because this is disgusting the way the Bucks are playing basketball. And I feel bad that the fans are still showing up and just watching the Bucks get their absolute doors get blown off by better teams than them in the Eastern Conference and the bottom feeders in the Eastern/Western Conference. Bottom feeders. So, you got anything else?
No, getting another matinee game against the Grizzlies tomorrow. I feel like every Sunday matinee game is always against the Grizzlies. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's quite often them. Yeah, no, they play tomorrow, and who knows what happens.
All right. Happy Easter to all those who celebrate. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.